So I'm Javi, and I'm one of the current students of the PG CERT through the Exeter University. I'm one of the CRN research nurses, and Debbie has been my supervisor over the course and happens to also be my line manager at work. So what we thought is we're going to go through some questions that hopefully will relate to some questions that you might want to ask. So if I just start, Debbie, asking, how often have we been meeting through the course?
At the very start, we've been meeting initially at the start of the course. I read the handbook as soon as Javi was accepted onto the course, and we got a really good understanding for the course, a really good grip, a really good take on it. We touched base face-to-face or virtually. We also work within the same clinical team. I'm Javi's line manager. It makes it much easier, I have to say. But saying that is not an impossible task if you're not the line manager. We at the end of our meetup, we always have a fixed date for a next meeting. So there's always something in the calendar in advance so that you keep on track and keep on top of things. Roughly each meeting we have takes roughly an hour, I would say.
Yeah, so I think at the beginning of the course, as Debbie said, we met to really go through the course and what was going to be required, both from me as a student and from Debbie as a supervisor. And then we've had regularish meetings, possibly every 8 weeks or so, a bit more regular during the RP module, the practice module, just to make sure that all the opportunities are being identified and you're working through and you're on, the path to successfully complete the program. So in terms of a bit more focused questions for you as a supervisor, Debbie, how much time has it required from you to support me on the course?
I think initially you need to get a really good grip on the course, a good take. So you need to read the module handbook. You need to get an overview of the course, what the course is actually offering the student, and where you as a manager can link in with that. Because actually, although it's Javi's course, it's been his course as a supervisor, you're on that journey and you want to make sure that your students get the very best out of it along all of the way. We'd do that, we'd have our meetings, and we always put other meetings in. We keep on track. We try very hard to keep on track. When it comes to the clinical and practical assessments, I think things intensify then, and then there's an awful lot then of commitment and work and sign up, if you like, to your student to get them through their SIPs, to signpost them to the people that they can work with, and to actually get them to deliver. It's a joint effort. Would you not say that, Javi? Very much a joint effort. And it sort of crescendos at the end of the course. So it's a quite good way to explain it, I think.
I think you've gone through that and through what is required as a supervisor. So just to add to it, who else can be involved in the supervision of students just to support you?
Yeah, I think as a supervisor, one of your duties is for your students to be able to see your picture that you work in and be able to see in your organisation where you can signpost your students to for opportunities to complete their SIPs, whether they be the SIPs 1s or the SIPs 2. We're very lucky in the research network we work in, that we have a lot of resources on tap, so it's been easy to resource to things like finance departments, study support services, just general specialty areas of interest, PRES, public patient involvement groups. There's so many people, but you need to as a supervisor, know what's in your area that your student would benefit from, and that comes from the conversations that you have regularly.
Yeah, thank you very much. So in terms now from a bit more from the student perspective, how much time is involved is possibly one of the questions that you have. So as Kerry has gone through it, there's an average there. I found that initially it's really good if you keep some time every week to make sure that you go through the course contents and to ensure that you're you're on track. As Kerry also mentioned, there may be some areas that you're already an expert on, and those will require less effort, and others that may be new for you or that you want to develop further, and that's where more work will be needed. My advice, it will be, if you keep putting that work regularly, that will ensure that you're keep on track, and also it will make it easier when the assignments are due, because that's a time where, you know, normally more work is required. But I think something to be aware of, and it has been highlighted, is that it can be challenging to complete a course whilst you're working full time. So it's just trying to have those conversations early with your employer and your supervisor, and see whether there's an agreement of having some time, or on some tasks that may relate to your current work, you can use some of that time. And also, what is required to you from you as a student, I will say the main things I would say is enthusiasm, because you're going to have to put the work in, and it makes a difference if you're keen on learning and developing your professional career. Proactivity, I will say, is another of the key aspects. So as Debbie has said, it's really important to go outside of your comfort zone and go out and create those networks. And this course is going to provide that environment, and it's going to encourage you to go out and develop connections and relationship with other researchers, both within your region and outside of it. And it's really important that you as a student take the lead of what you get and what you want to get out of the course. And finally, I think something that has been really a really real positive from the course is, as most of the course leads have mentioned, that it's online, so you can always go back to the lectures. You can ask questions online, so it is a flexible approach that really enhances and facilitates during the course whilst full-time working.